Are you stupid or something?
I'm as stupid as a stupid does.
Victim to one of the classic blunders.
Stand down, sir.
No, I will not stand down. You will stand down.
I will not stand down.
You will stand down, or you will be working security in a retirement home.
Listen. I can walk. Without you putting your damn hands on me. You understand?
To the vehicle.
I have not broken the law.
Walk to the vehicle. Well, walk to the vehicle, sir. You're being recorded.
Don't put your hands on me. I give you no reason to touch me.
I'm going to arrest you then. Place your hands behind your back.
Uncalled for.
Place your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind
Place your hands behind your back.
Just relax, okay?
Listen.
Just relax.
Place your hands behind your back. Please place your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my...
Place your
It
hands
only
behind-
takes one of you.
Place your hands...
Look, let him do it. All right? Take your hands off me.
That's fine. Okay.
Let him do it.
I think he got an alternative motive, right?
On August 7, 2020, two deputies from the McDowell County Sheriff's Department were investigating 4 marijuana plants being grown in a part of rural West Virginia. Upon arrival, the deputies engaged in conversation with the property owner, Jason Tart. Eventually, the deputies asked Mr. Tart his name and date of birth, to which he gave his name. After minutes of back and forth about giving up his name and date of birth, Mr. Tart was arrested for obstruction under West Virginia Code 61-5-17A. In this video, we will discuss several nuances of law, including the Fourth Amendment, reasonable suspicion to investigate, probable cause to arrest, and consensual encounter. The original source credit for this video goes out to the civil rights lawyer. Visit his page and give him the credit he deserves.
That we're living in, I think it's important that I have your names.
What do you mean, ma'am?
A lot of crazy stuff going on. And so having your name makes me feel more secure. As I said, we came here...
Common misnomer, then a officer must identify himself by name and badge number upon request. It depends on each state, and it depends on the police department's policy.
June 28th, we're actually new here.
Okay.
And for the police officers in this area to come up and say, are you growing marijuana? That is preposterous to me.
To say somebody scared you because they asked you a question is ridiculous.
That's preposterous.
We're going to give you that.
Wait.
Okay.
It's ridiculous to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not ridiculous
Your
over
first
here.
name.
I'm not giving you my information.
Sir, if you refuse to give me your information, I'm going to arrest you.
That's fine. My property has nothing to do with any marijuana whatsoever.
Jason Tart, what is your date of birth? I'm going to arrest you if you don't give me your name and date of birth.
There are limitations on stop and identify yourself laws. First, the state statute that requires oneself to produce identification to police upon request must not be constitutionally vague or ambiguous. This comes from a case, Collender versus Lawson. Secondly, the initial stop must be based on a reasonable suspicion to believe the person was involved in criminal activity, Brown versus Texas. Third, the request for identification must be reasonably related to the circumstances which justify the stop, Hyville versus 6th Judicial District.
This is just a question, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I get that. And so then my only question to you is your names, just so it's okay in my own heart and mind. And when I say the season we're living in, you know the season we're living in.
Y'all looking for something over here at his house?
What is it?
Y'all concerned about something over here at this house?
This house?
No, that house.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Who lives there?
Mr. Ferguson? He's probably there now. He's 79.
Okay. All right. What's your name, sir?
Jason Tart.
Jason Tart.
Tart.
And what do you mean by the season we're living in, ma'am?
Sir.
What do you need? You got any questions for me?
No, I'll collect some information from you in a minute, your name and date of birth and such.
What do you need my information for?
You own these two homes, correct?
What
Okay,
do these two homes got to do with that?
These two homes is near that marijuana grow, so I'd just like to have your name.
You know how many people go through here?
I understand.
That's not going to do you one bit of good.
Okay. Well, sir, I'm going to need your name and date of birth, and I have that.
I feel comfortable giving you my name and date of birth.
Okay. Well, this is a criminal investigation. You own these two homes, so by law, you do have to give me your name and date of birth, sir.
If he gives you a reason, yes, you do.
Reason for what?
Because of the marijuana grow.
It's not on my property.
Okay. Well, again, I have reason to believe that these two homes here that you own is related to that marijuana grow. So you have to give me your name and date of birth by law. Go get a pen and piece of paper.
Reason to believe what? Why? Because these houses are here?
Yes, sir, and you own them.
May I say something?
Right. Do you understand? I was born and raised here. Do you understand that there's a lot of traffic going through here?
Since we've lived here, people come up here and they park there, and we don't know where the hell they go, and then they come back out.
I don't have a problem giving you my information. I'm just
Okay, well, that's all I need. It doesn't have to be an argument. I mean, just give me your name and date of birth, dude. It's easy.
It's not easy. My property has nothing to do with what you found.
Okay. Well, we're just making sure of that. That's our job.
Berwyn Land Company owns.
Okay.
Berwyn Land Company owns.
Sir, I don't understand why you're being argumentative about giving me your name and date of birth.
I'm not.
It's simple.
Well, you scared me. I mean,
Scared you?
Who says that? Who
By asking you a question?
Who comes up and asks? That's crazy.
And it scared you?
I'm trying to understand what
it scared you by me asking you a question.
Growing marijuana?
And that's a question.
What does these houses on my property got? Did you find it on my property?
It's near your property.
Yeah.
Well, what does that have to do with the question?
Fuck off.
They do. Yeah. To say somebody scared you because they asked you a question is ridiculous.
That's preposterous.
Go ahead and give me your name, sir.
Wait.
First name.
It's ridiculous to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not ridiculous.
Your first name.
I'm not giving you my information.
Sir, if you refuse to give me your information, I'm going to arrest you.
That's fine. My property has nothing to do with any marijuana.
Tart, what is your date of birth? I'm going to arrest you if you don't give me your name and date of birth.
You're going to arrest me if I don't give you my name and date of birth?
It's obstructing an officer.
How?
Because you're hindering me from doing my job. You're hindering me from...
How am I hindering you from doing your job if it's not on my property?
Last chance to give me your name and date of birth, sir.
How am I hindering you?
Sir, last chance to give me your name and date of birth.
How am I hindering you?
Place your hands behind your back. Place your hands behind your back. Are you going to give me your name and date of birth?
Take me to jail. You're right. I'm hindering you from doing your job. Please.
I'll see if I can find you my name first.
No, I'm hindering you from doing your job.
Really going out off the
Yeah, this is how you guys...
This is bad.
This is
112 control.
This is how you operate.
This is a wrap.
I'm hindering you from doing your
That's why
job.
I needed their...
Y'all need to go inside.
This is what's going on.
You two need to go inside.
You scared her.
In this
Again, you two go inside. Go inside.
I'm afraid.
Go
now,
inside.
to tell you the truth.
Go inside.
On my own porch?
No, go inside as of right now.
Tell me why.
Go inside.
What are you doing,
Step off
man?
the porch. Step off the porch.
I'll step off.
Go inside.
What are you doing? This is unnecessary for
Sir,
you to be
go
doing
inside.
This. He's standing on his own porch.
Go inside.
Don't come in my house.
Go inside. Step back. Go inside.
Look, that's completely uncalled for.
Come on.
Look,
Walk.
man, don't listen.
Sir,
You don't
stop.
have to listen,
You're
man.
being recorded.
Listen. This
Just
is
walk.
listen. Listen.
back.
I can walk.
towards
I
the
can
car.
walk
Okay,
without
well,
you
walk.
putting your damn hands on
Walk
me. You
to the
understand?
vehicle.
I have not broken the law.
Walk to the
At
vehicle.
all.
Well, walk to the vehicle,
Don't
sir.
put
You're
your
being
damn
recorded.
hands on me. I give
Sir.
you no reason to touch me.
I'm going to arrest you then. Place your hands behind your back.
Uncalled for.
Place your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind
Place your hands behind your back.
Listen.
Just relax, okay?
Listen. You
relax.
Place your hands behind your back. Please.
West Virginia Code 61-5-17 deals with obstruction. It states any person who by threats, menaces, acts, or otherwise forcibly or illegally hinders or obstructs or attempts to hinder or obstructs any law enforcement officer is guilty of a misdemeanor. The legal question then becomes, did Mr. Tart obstruct the officer when he did not give him his name and date of birth, because he did give him his name?
Place your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my...
Place your
It
hands
only
behind-
takes one of you.
Place your hands-
Look, let him do it. All right? Take your hands off me.
That's fine. Okay.
Let him do it.
I think you got an alternative motive, Faith.
Okay. Let's walk this way.
10-4. He owns 2 properties right here on this Baptist Drive road after you pass the second concrete bridge on the right. We located a marijuana grow probably not 100 foot, 50 foot from this last property of his, and he just won't give us his name, date of birth.
10-4, is he a white male, black male?
Black male.
10-4.
If we look at U.S. versus Serinsky, the court held, while this court has never squarely addressed whether refusing to identify oneself to a police officer may subject a person to charge of obstructing an officer, we have had the opportunity to study and define other related issues involving the offense. The court went on to conclude that you did not need actual force or violence to say that a person was obstructing with an officer. They said that in a case called Johnson, that the words forcibly or illegally used in the statute clearly means an unlawful interference with the officer in the discharge of his official duties, whether or not force be actually present. In Serinsky, the court went on to recognize a case called Jarvis, where they said, we further recognize in Jarvis that a person does not unlawfully obstruct an officer by simply asking questions. In Serinsky, the ultimate conclusion, and this is a case of first impression, they said that consequently, we hold that refusal to identify oneself to a law enforcement officer does not, standing alone, form the basis for a charge of obstructing a law enforcement officer in performing his official duties. However, the charge of obstructing an officer may be substantiated when a citizen does not supply identification when required to do so by express statutory direction. In this case, with Mr. Tart, there are no statutory requirements that he identify himself. Even if there was, he gave his name, and they used the word identification. If they meant supply identification, as in supply a hard copy of a driver's license or valid West Virginia ID, then the state might have a better argument. Continuing, or when the refusal occurs after a law enforcement officer has communicated the reason why the citizen's name is being sought in relationship to the officer's official duty. In Mr. Tart's case, the officer did communicate why he was asking for his name. Hey, there's a marijuana grow. It's at the end of your property. You live close by. I'm investigating it. What's in the officer's brain? He wants the name so he can run it and see if Mr. Tart has ever been arrested for any type of drug crimes. However, Mr. Tart, he satisfied his element because he gave his name on this second prong of this case. In Serinsky, they're saying when the refusal occurs after a law enforcement officer has communicated the reason why this citizen's name is being sought, it doesn't say the citizen's identification. So we could split hairs there and recognize that Mr. Tart did give his name, and not only that, he gave his name several times. If I'm looking at both sides of the case in this upcoming Federal Civil Rights 1983, I'm going to say Mr. Tart has a stronger argument in not providing his date of birth as a requirement of /ID, and by not giving a hard piece of paper or a hard identification card, he satisfied his duty under case law under U.S. versus Serinsky when he gave his name. Ultimate conclusion, I think the Mr. Tart's going to win.
All you had to do was give your name and date of birth.
That was it.
That's ridiculous to go to jail because you don't want to give your date of birth.
Ridiculous.
somebody's community and asking those kind of damn questions. It's ridiculous to come in somebody's...
Is it wrong to ask if you're growing marijuana?
Is it wrong?
Yes.
Do you see those people over there? Do they look like they grow marijuana?
I mean, anybody can grow marijuana, sir.
Well, you know what? Exactly. Anybody could.
So I asked, is anybody growing marijuana?
Food. You see them hot tunnels out there? I farm. That's what I do. I grow food.
Okay, well, why couldn't you give your name and date of birth?
Why do I need to?
Because I have reason to believe that you possibly committed a crime.
You have reason to believe that I committed it.
You own those properties.
Listen, there's a lot that somebody else owns between mine and theirs. That property's not mine that you found that marijuana on. So how in the world can you have reason to believe it's mine?
It's near your properties. Nobody else I mean, there's a church there.
Did you go back? Man, you have no idea. You know the history of this place, how many people grow weed around here?
Okay.
Serious?
Well, the only reason you're going to jail is because...
property is next.
The reason you're going to jail...
No, the reason that you asked me a question is because you said you have reason to believe that I committed a crime.
And the reason you're going to jail is for not giving me your identification.
That's fine.
He didn't say that.
I don't want to take you to jail. Didn't want to take you to jail.
This is how it is. This is how it is. This is how you guys operate. It's cool. Because it's near my property.
All you had to do was give your name and date of birth.
No, you just said a mouthful right there, dude.
Name and date of birth.
My property. You have reason to believe that I committed the crime.
Yes. That's why I asked you for your identification.
Well, okay.
You act like it was the end of the world for a name and date of birth.
Are y'all gonna situate these cuffs? My shoulder is pretty jacked up.
Yes.
I asked the guy over here before we left. He said he'd take care of it.
Yes, we will stop up here and put them in front of you, if that's what you would like. You still going to refuse to identify yourself?
You got my name. I told you my name.
I need your date of birth. I tried to run you by name before we pulled out.
What happened?
I couldn't find nothing.
Because he didn't have a date of birth.
Sir, are you going to give me your date of birth? I mean, I'll put you in jail as John Doe, and when you decide to give your name and date of birth is when you'll get out.
My date of birth is 19.
Now, how easy was that?
Well, since you're going to charge me anyway, they're going to need the information. I don't have any ID on me, so it's already established. It still doesn't change the fact of how you approach the whole thing in the first place.
By asking?
That I own those properties.
Okay.
Have no bearing.
I asked the people there a question. You grow marijuana. When I got back down there after I found the marijuana, after you told me you owned the properties, I asked you, what is your name and date of birth?
Yeah.
That was an easy, simple question.
Property that you found the marijuana.
It's just right off your property.
It's not.
That's reason enough to believe.
Look, there's several pieces of property that are owned by other people between my property and where you found that marijuana.
Okay, well, the process of the investigation...
Well, how do you know where I found the marijuana?
By the church. You said that.
It's near your properties. Nobody else I mean, there's a church there.
You said up by the church, did you not?
Okay.
Sir? Exactly.
Sir, it boils down to name and date of birth.
People are all over these hills, man. Y'all know that.
Well, sir, all you had to do was give me your name and date of birth.
Okay.
That's simple. It may ought to be some big ordeal when it was just, sir, my name is, sir, my date of birth is, and then I'd have been on my way. I'd have picked the marijuana up and been on my way.
You have reason to believe that I have something to do with committing the crime because
so part of
my property and you have no. I mean, what is that? That is crazy.
So part of it, how we investigate, is with your name and date of birth. I conduct an investigation. The marijuana grow.
Marijuana on me, on my property. If you found it on me or on my property, I would say, okay, makes plenty of sense to me. But you didn't. But I'm a suspect. Yeah. It's like me coming down the street from your house and finding something and then coming and blaming it on you, or even suspecting you. You gotta do what you want to do.
That's very untrue.
An elderly man. You Ask the man if he's growing marijuana.
Yes, sir.
That's how you endear yourself to the community, right? Unreal. You could ask him if he knew anybody was up there doing it, but to ask him, the people just moved there.
Well, I don't know that.
Exactly, you don't know that. So you walk into people's neighborhoods with this cocky ass attitude.
No, sir, I was not cocky.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
You wasn't there.
I was there long enough to know. You asked me as soon as I walked up. Didn't know me from a can of paint.
And growing marijuana has nothing to do with age, race.
Did it offend you by asking, do you grow marijuana?
Yeah, it's offensive. How about somebody came in your... See, y'all have no clue, man. But that's okay. Y'all have no clue.
I offended you by asking you a question.
You saw the lady was offended by the way you approached her. Maybe, just maybe, you did it the wrong way.
By asking her a question.
You do what you want to do. Like I said, that's how y'all operate.
10-4, you still need to talk to me?
Yeah, 10-4, drop down.
Go ahead.
10-4, just to let you know, we come up here on that complaint and located a marijuana grow. Subject arrived there, we asked him if he grew marijuana, stated that he owned the 2 properties, and we located a marijuana grow approximately 50 to 100 feet from his residence, and he refused to give us his name, date of birth.
10-4, I'll meet you in the park lot behind Grants.
10-4.
Control, see if you can find an ID or a driver's license for a Jason Tart, T-A-R-T.
T-A-R-T.
People are already getting 30 on all in
Control subject's gonna give date of birth. You ready? First name Jason, last name Tart, Tango Alpha Romeo, Tango Tango. What's your date of birth? Where's your ID out of? This state?
Control. I'll leave it. Stand by for local.
10-4, could you also send off for III? We can cut these off and leave the...
What's going on, Mark? Jason, man, you would have told them your name.
They ought to come up there correct. I'm a military police, ex-military police. I know police protocol.
I know you're
These guys up there, they don't know how to come in our community and treat people with respect. I own the 2 properties. He said there's marijuana up by the damn church. He walks up there, brings it back, starts asking me questions because I own the property. There's properties in between mine and the church to begin with. I have nothing to do with marijuana being grown at the church. He tells me that I'm a suspect in an investigation. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then he goes up to people on their property. He walks around the people's house looking through windows and stuff. They got it on camera. Then he asks people, do you grow marijuana? Is that something you walk up to somebody and ask them? Not at their house on their porch, Mark. Come on.
I'm just trying to help you out there. Okay.
She said that there's an older young trailer there, but the neighbors think that they're possibly doing drugs, think that they're on meth. And she said that she didn't give anybody permission to be on her property or anything like that.
Most definitely can be upstairs off.
Paperwork, your paperwork's coming.